Welcome to Greenable Woodbridge. I am your host, Carolyn Ehrlich. You've often heard me talk about the two greens in Greenable. It's the green of energy and it's the green of money. And our goal is always to find ways to save both. Highland Park came up with an amazing idea to do just that. So we have with us today Matthew Kaplan, who has run the program in Highland Park to do home energy audits. We also have with us Scott Fisher from Seal Power, who did the audits in Highland Park, and now we are contracting with him to do them in Woodbridge, and bringing to our residents a way of saving both energy and money. So to start off with, Scott, can you tell us what a home energy audit is?
Yes. A home energy audit is actually very simple. It really is a way for homeowners to understand how their home is losing or wasting energy. So, for example, a practical way to understand what a home energy audit is, it takes about 3 hours to perform. It's a certified inspector that's coming through the house looking for very detailed information. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what he's looking for is if your pipes are leaking water, you're going to call a plumber. If your roof is leaking, you're going to call a roofer. Well, for most people in this area, their house is leaking. You just can't see it. It's air, it's escaping from your home. Every time you turn on the heating system in the winter, all this air is just forcing its way right out of your house. If it was colored, you'd say, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. I have to get this fixed because it's just my money escaping from my wallet right off into the atmosphere. Right. So what we do is we come in, we perform a very thorough evaluation of a home. We put together a very comprehensive report for the homeowner to help them understand exactly what's happening with their house, how it is losing or wasting energy.
So if I'm looking toward the winter, which is coming up a lot sooner, I think, than a lot of us realize, and I remembering last winter when I was sitting in my house underneath my nice window with a big blanket on, freezing, you would be able to help my comfort level?
100%. That's exactly what we do. We help you understand this room that's always cold in my house, why is it always cold? What's structurally or airflow-wise, or what technical reason is this room always cold? We'll help you understand it, point it out, and make recommendations of how to fix it. More importantly, we'll also let you know what rebates and incentive money is available from the state of New Jersey to help you fix it. New Jersey has one of the best programs in the country as far as rebates and incentives for homeowners to make their houses more energy efficient. And that's what we're an accredited contractor through that program. It's what's known as the New Jersey Home Performance with Energy Star program.
Right. This is great. I'm going to call you, and I can't imagine why anybody else in town would not be calling you. Matt, we always say that we don't need to be original. We just need to find the good ideas and take them. How did Highland Park come up with this great idea?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Caroline. It was an original idea. We are the first municipality in the nation to have a borough or municipal government endorsed home energy assessor in Seal Power. The idea originated actually similar to a sidewalk program that the Borough of Highland Park had in place, where they had one contractor that we sort of put out a request for qualifications for that contractor so that Highland Park residents who are responsible for fixing their sidewalk would have a contractor that they know that they can call that was endorsed by the borough to perform that work. And so we sort of took that idea and expanded upon it to try to reduce the amount of steps that Highland Park residents need to take in order to get in touch with a home performance with Energy Star contractor who could assess the energy usage of their home and potentially upgrade and perform improvements for it. And so, we realized that people have very busy lives and there are a lot of different companies out there. And so we wanted to create a sort of a paradigm model where whereby residents would have one company that, they could feel free to use anyone that they wanted, but they had one company they at least had the borough seal of approval, that this program was real, that this contractor was going to perform testing, as Scott has described, up to a minimum level of qualifications and standards, and that they could at least trust that this home energy audit that the borough was asking them to do as part of this larger EPA campaign that I'm sure we'll get to later, that they had someone at least that they could call without having to go through too much trouble.
Right.
And so we sort of wanted to make it easier for homeowners to save energy and save money, and so we came up with this model, expanding upon I guess, precedent in other areas to have one contractor that, wasn't the exclusive rights for the town, obviously, but at least the residents of the town could trust that this contractor was going to perform the work that the town was asking them to do up to a certain preset level of standards.
Right. And we followed your process exactly. And if you could explain that a little bit about how you put out a request for proposals
Sure.
from the certified companies and how you ended up with Seal Power.
Right. No, it's an interesting story. The Home Performance with Energy Star program that Scott's company Steel Power participates in, it does set minimum standards for the testing and diagnostic work that needs to be performed on a home. But we wanted to go a little bit above and beyond that, and Scott will talk later about the blower door testing and some of the infrared imaging, things that are really instructive to homeowners in understanding the comfort issues and the energy losing issues that are occurring in their homes, but that weren't necessarily have to be performed under the New Jersey Home Performance with Energy Star program. So my background coming from doing home energy work in the private sector rather, we were able to work with our borough attorney and come up with a set of standards for additional testing measures that we wanted to make sure were included in every assessment. We also wanted to make sure that the homeowners knew that the results of the audit were exclusively their property, and that if they wanted to, they could go to contractors and shop around to get competitive bids for upgrade work. So those were, I think, the two main points that we really wanted to stress in the development of the process was the additional testing that we think would be informative, as well as that the homeowners maintain the ownership of the results, and that this was not something that the borough was endorsing from a standpoint of doing contracting work. We were just endorsing the home energy assessment that was being performed.
Right.
So those were the two main points. We also wanted to make sure that the reporting was very clear, and so Seal Power has done a great job in coming up with more illustrative reporting for the assessments that are performed than is just automatically generated through the New Jersey program. So we wanted to make sure that residents felt that they were getting a good deal and that they were able to visually understand the information that was being presented to them. And the last thing that I think that was the most important that we really attempted to stress was the ability to promote the program itself, and coming in with an idea of really trying to get residents excited, and that's where Seal Power really excelled in their presentation to us, was that they had a plan to really make themselves a presence in the town and really kind of partner with the town on this effort and try to represent the town in the best way possible. So there's sort of the combination of factors that we really kind of consider in developing the RFP and then evaluating the proposals that came in.
Right, so what you're saying to me basically is that our residents are going to start seeing Seal Power all over the place.
Yes.
And getting to know them and
Yes.
learning them and becoming neighbors and friends.
Absolutely.
So obviously you know a lot about this. I understand you're a Highland Park resident. What's your background that you were able to bring so much to the table to Highland Park?
I actually am the managing partner and CEO of a company, Riverio. We do home energy assessments and energy code compliance and Energy Star and LEED certifications for new residential construction. And we do that primarily for new homes, for new developments. And so we work with builders, architects, and developers. So, our business doesn't compete with Scott's, but I have an understanding of what Scott does because we do a similar thing, but from a new construction side, whereas Scott's company focuses on existing homes.
And you mentioned a grant before.
Yes, so this whole effort was originated because I am the coordinator of the EPA Climate Showcase Communities grant that's being administered. It's actually coming to a close in about a month or so between Highland Park, Cherry Hill, and Montclair, whereas the three towns together received grant funding from the EPA to work with the Sustainable State Institute and Sustainable Jersey at the College of New Jersey in Trenton to basically pioneer a program that would promote and facilitate residents taking actions to reduce their carbon emissions. And so the EPA funds these grants to allow municipal and state and local governments to try out different ideas to see what is good policy in terms of getting residents to reduce their carbon emissions, and then those ideas will inform national policy to the extent that they're successful. And so we have, for going back before this idea for having a home performance with Energy Star contractor designated by the town, we had done a carbon footprint model of the town and identified home energy assessments from a cost-effective standpoint and from an energy saving standpoint as literally the #1 priority for us in terms of trying to reduce carbon emissions in town. town. And so that's sort of the genesis of how do we get more people to do home energy audits. Okay, let's try to remove some of the steps and make it simpler and set a sort of a standard that they know that they can trust. This whole grant program was designed to have homeowners take actions like this, and this is just a way that we felt we could help facilitate that. And obviously the presence of the New Jersey Home Performance with Energy Star program in the state, which is one of, as Scott mentioned, the most robust rebate programs of its kind for this type of work, we saw that as obviously something that we wanted to harness and take advantage of in our effort to try to facilitate and promote residents doing this type of work to their homes.
And actually educate the residents about what these programs are.
Exactly, and so we thought in bringing in a company that was sort of had a similar mission of ours from a private sector perspective, that they were going to be motivated by an interest to develop their business, they would in turn also help us educate residents. And CO Power has made a really strong commitment to helping get the messaging of the town and the campaign we called the It's in Our Power Highland Park campaign. It was named to sort of promote residents taking this action as well as other actions, switching to CFL's, complex fluorescent lighting in their homes, taking advantage of other BPU programs where they can recycle their old refrigerators or freezers, switching to third-party deregulated energy that's from a clean and renewable source. So CO Power has really worked with us to also channel the messaging of the grant program and the other actions the campaign was looking to have residents take into the messaging that they have been communicating to residents in town.
Right. So I know with these EPA grants, you had used the word pioneering, but one of the main things is they want to see programs that can be replicated.
Exactly.
So now you can go back to them and say, we did it because Woodbridge followed us.
We did it, and it was actually replicated while we were doing it. So we've already shown that not only is it possible, but it's replicable, and that people have an interest in replicating it. So now this is by far the overwhelming success of the grant program overall was the development of this model. And I think it's important to note that Sustainable Jersey, which awards certifications to townships based on their collective action in sustainable issues, has adopted this action as one of the Sustainable Jersey actions that towns can take and get awarded points for their certification. And so you can visit the Sustainable Jersey website and find out more information. But I believe the RFP is actually posted as a model for other towns to use, and we hope to see this being replicated more and more across New Jersey and possibly even in New York and other states where there is some sort of rebate program that could serve as the basis for something like this on additional municipal scales.
So I will have to take this moment to do a little Woodbridge commercial and say that we just finished another Sustainable Jersey cycle, and once again, we're the champion. And we are always, though, looking for more points. So this will enable us to get 10 more for next year.
Certainly.
And so we're really excited about that. So you've met one of your goals. You got Woodbridge to copy you. What were your other goals, and do you feel you've achieved them?
Our goal when we started out was 200 homes that we wanted to have audited or assessed, depending on your choice of word. And we right now have had over 100. Scott, I think, is the exact number, but it's slightly over 100 right now. And we are going to be continuing this effort to the end of the year. And at the rate that we've been intaking residents for appointments, we believe that we will meet and in fact exceed that goal, which we thought was ambitious. Represents roughly 10% of the owner-occupied households in Highland Park, and the participation rate on average across the state is something like 1% in town. So we have by hundreds and thousands of percentages increased our participation rates, and the BPU and the New Jersey Clean Energy Program have certainly taken notice, and I think as a result they're going to be even more helpful in trying to facilitate other municipalities doing the same sort of action, because it's been so dramatically successful in helping to increase participation rates and the number of people that are having their home undergo an energy audit.
So, Scott, turning to you for a second, you now have been working with Highland Park, and you're about to work with Woodbridge. Explain to our residents, and maybe any other towns that might be listening, why it makes sense for a municipality to go out and make the effort to put out an RFP, to find the most qualified company, to find a company that will give its residents a good price for this home audit. And why do that?
Quite frankly, because most people don't know what a home energy audit is, why a homeowner would want to receive one, why you would want to get one. And quite frankly, the whole thing is named very poorly. Nobody wants to be audited, nobody wants to be assessed, nobody wants to have some stranger come into their home for 3 hours, looking at every nook and cranny of their house. It can be a very thorough evaluation, and it's a very time-consuming process to really understand how an individual house is losing or wasting energy. And it's very difficult to standardize because everybody's home is so much different than the home down the street and the home next to it. One home may have had an addition put onto it, one home may be in better condition. There's a whole host of different factors that come into play when you're really trying to evaluate how a home is losing or wasting energy. Right. And quite frankly, having the participation or the cooperation of the municipality in which you're operating in and having them help promote it to the residents of that municipality really helps break down a lot of barriers to entry, helps imply a lot of trust to the vendor that's performing these assessments, and really helps motivate the homeowners, we found, to pick up the phone and schedule one and go through the process of understanding how their home is losing or wasting energy.
Now, it sounds very daunting and almost scary when you say that you're going to come into my house for 3 hours. That's basically a whole afternoon. And not many people are willing to say, okay, I'm going to give up Thursday afternoon to have my house audited. What is the value? We talked about the comfort. What else?
The value is going to be, quite frankly, it's really the only way for you to truly understand what the issues facing your home are. It's really a very thorough process that where an assessor is going to come into your house. They're literally going to look, try and peek into your walls. They're going to use infrared technology to measure the temperature differentials, as Matt was alluding to before, the temperature differentials in the walls. So we'll be able to see which walls are cold and which ones are warm. We're actually going to depressurize your house. So we're actually going to connect a big fan to your front door, which just your neighbors are all going to be out there going, what's going on over at the Jones residence? I don't know. We're going to connect a big fan to your front door and actually depressurize your house. The advantage to doing that is you're going to be able to now walk around your home and just using your hand, no funky science or anything like that, you'll be able to figure out exactly where this cold air is coming into your house because you'll feel it. When your house has negative pressure inside and that positive pressure outside, all that air is trying to force its way into your home. You'll be able to walk around with your hand and actually feel that air entering your home and know that, oh my goodness, we really should do something about this because in the wintertime, it's just happening in reverse.
Where it's going. And so if somebody calls up somebody and they say, oh, we'll be in and out in a half an hour, they're not getting a break or a bargain because they're not really going to find out what's broken and what needs to be fixed.
Right.
Then they won't be able to use the grants properly and they'll say, why am I still cold?
Exactly.
Or why do I have to push my air conditioner to such a high number temperature during the summer to cool off?
Correct.
So you will fix both of those things. The key is to this when we talk about the green of both. This is the time for our residents to do this, and I can't stress that enough. First of all, these programs that we're talking about from clean energy, they have a finite end date. They're not going to go on forever and ever. So, and it sounds like a sales pitch, but the fact of the matter is this is an opportunity that our residents should take advantage of right now. Absolutely. And it's very, very important for them to know that, in a sense, the state is giving away or giving back some of the money that they have paid in on their electric bills back to the residents. So if you can talk about that program and how it works and how the state is helping them to upgrade their homes, that would be great.
Sure. First off, to your earlier point about the standards that we follow during a home energy audit, we are actually following standards that are outlined by an organization called the Building Performance Institute. They are a standard setting and accrediting organization. We're accredited through their organization as well. Our energy auditors all have certifications from the Building Performance Institute, and they really set the standard for how these audits are performed on homes. We follow their standards. The reports that we provide are very detailed. They provide a lot of information, and they provide a series of improvements that homeowners can have installed in their home to help increase the overall energy efficiency of their house. Right now, New Jersey's offering up to $5,000 cash back. So not a tax deduction, not anything, it's an actual check that you'll get in the mail for up to $5,000. Depending on how much energy we can save for your specific home.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand this. So the first step is the first $5,000 that I have to lay out to get this work done, I will get a check back from the state for that first $5,000, so that work will be essentially free?
Up to $5,000, and up to 50% of the cost of the job.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
so
and what does $5,000 typically cover?
$5,000 will take you a long way through this program. There's a lot of different different measures that affect the house's energy efficiency that are covered through this program. So insulation, heating equipment, cooling equipment,
Right.
hot water heaters, all of these measures are covered through the New Jersey Home Performance with Energy Star program.
That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, so now I've gone through my $5,000. What's next?
Now let's say for the remaining $5,000, the state, if you qualify, this you do have to apply for it, but is offering zero interest financing for the remaining balance. So if the cost to improve your home was $10,000, New Jersey will send you a check for $5,000, and that remaining $5,000 balance can go on to a zero interest loan for up to 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and how is that paid? Is that paid as part of my bill, part of a monthly payment?
It's actually just a regular monthly payment. You would write a check to the organization providing that financing. You would just simply send them a check each month. But in most cases, the amount of money that you're spending on that loan repayment, you're going to be saving on your utility bill because now your house is so much more efficient than it used to be.
Right.
It used to be that your utilities were $600 a month. Well, now maybe your utilities in the heating in the wintertime are $400 a month.
Right. And this is exactly what we as a government in the township is doing. We are doing some improvements to all of our buildings, borrowing the money to do it because we don't have the money to lay out, and paying back the cost of that loan through our savings. And just like with the resident, we are pretty sure that our savings are going to be greater than the cost of the loan. So get the work done. Work ultimately has to get done anyway.
Yep.
Be more comfortable, save money, and you still got the money in your pocket. So it's a win-win. And when I say it's crazy if somebody doesn't take advantage of this, I think that's, the truth.
Very much
The
so.
burden on us is to get the word out to our residents that this is a good program.
And at least understand what you're eligible for. A lot of homeowners don't even know what is available to them. They
Right.
hear the word rebate, and rebate has been so overused. You're used to going to Staples and having to fill out 15 different forms to to get your rebate back. This is actually very simple. Seal Power representatives will come in, they'll assess your home. We're going to prescribe a list of measures to your home. If you decide you want to have those measures installed, we'll install them for you, and we'll process all the paperwork for you as well. So,
And I just want to be clear, you can do the installation, or a resident is free to get somebody else
absolutely.
to do it.
You got it.
Right. And this is the question that everybody asks me, is this costing taxpayers any money? Is it coming out of tax money?
Not at all.
Not at all.
We're simply able to offer an economy of scale, so to speak, because
Right.
our auditors will be working within one community. There's not a lot of travel time. There's unique marketing opportunities here, so we're able to offer a fixed price to the residents of an individual community whose municipality goes above and beyond to take the steps to have the service provided to the residents of the community.
And I think that's important for us to know, too, is that, was it $49?
It is $49.
The cost of this is $49, and if you go to a town that's not working with you or hasn't done an RFP, that cost will be considerably higher. So by the process that the town took, we are saving them money on that original audit. And with all the work they get done, basically, that $49 that they pay to you is going to come back with the savings from the program. Just take us a couple of minutes just to talk about who you are and Seal Power.
Yep. Seal Power is what's known as a home performance contractor. Our job is solely, that's all we do, is go in, perform energy audits, and perform energy efficient retrofits and improvements. We are what's called a one-source solution to energy efficiency. So our goal is to be a single vendor that a homeowner can select to make their house energy efficient. It could be lighting, insulation, mechanical equipment, it could be a hot water heater, whatever the case may be. We're one point of contact that a homeowner can utilize to make all those different things happen. Our goal is to make this process very smooth for a homeowner, take them through the rebate process all of their paperwork, make this a very streamlined, straightforward, transparent process, and make it a very quick process as well to make sure that you get your rebate back in the allotted amount of time.
That is great. And who's your average customer?
Our average customer in New Jersey is anybody who owns a home in New Jersey is eligible to participate in this program. So basically, typically our average customer is someone who's concerned about their utility bills, who owns a home in New Jersey, and is concerned about the impact that their utilities are having on the environment. So the combination of those three different factors.
And what will the report look like that I get from you if I have this done?
You're going to get actually 2 reports from us. We don't publicize that a lot, but essentially what you're going to receive from us are 2 reports. One report that we've made very user-friendly. We've made it very colorful, intuitive. We include pictures. We include a host of different things to help make it easy to understand, you know, this process, all these complicated data points we've compiled and we've presented in a very simple, straightforward, easy to understand report. And you're also going to receive a summary report that's generated using the New Jersey Home Performance software, because that report is going to tell you how much you're going to be eligible for in rebates and incentive financing.
That is fantastic.
So you'll receive those 2 reports.
Wow. So who does, is there a contact number for you? How does a resident get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Our number is 201-632-3463. You can also go online, www.sealpower.com. We have a dedicated landing page for residents of Woodbridge. If you're specifically interested in the Woodbridge program, it's www.sealpower.com/Woodbridge.
And in the last couple of minutes that we have, if you could just summarize what the benefits are to this for our residents.
The benefits are several-fold. For most people, the benefits are that, number one, you're simply going to be more comfortable in your home. Our whole objective is to look at the house as one complete system. How does poor insulation affect your mechanical equipment? How does airflow through your home affect the overall comfort and temperature of it? How does moisture affect your home? There's a whole host of different variables that we look for when we perform an assessment on your home. Our goal is to look at your house as the sum of all these different systems that work independently of each other within the house, how they interact with each other, and what we can do to make them to optimize the way that they all work together. So that's really our goal, is to perform a thorough evaluation of how each of these systems is working together and how we can make them work together better.
Okay, so going back to one of the first things that you said, let's close the show with this thought. If your pipes leak, you're going to call a plumber. If your roof leaks, you're going to call a roofer. If your house is leaking, who are you going to call?
Seal Power.
Seal Power. Okay, great. So I thank you both for coming today, and just hoping that Woodbridge has the same level of success that you did in Highland Park, and I'm pretty sure that we will be. All of our residents will be seeing you, and I imagine your truck or car all over town getting these audits done, and sign me up first.
Great. Look forward to it.
And thank you to all of our viewers for watching Greenable Woodbridge and for being part of the change and part of the excitement. And if I may add to my regular sign-off, now you actually can be. So give Seal Power a call and be comfortable this winter. Thank you.